Hello, YouTubers, diecast collectors. It is Jared White, the J-Man 63, and it is time for a NASCAR review. This is going to be 5 NASCARs that Rick bought a couple months ago at a thrift store. I believe this was in Pennsylvania, and he got about 5 cars for not a whole lot of money. So not a bad deal. Some very cool stuff. Like I said, I'm just going to get right down to it and start viewing. The first car I'm going to get out of the way is probably the one that I like the least. I think this one's okay, but I just want to get it done and over with. This is the Jeff Gordon car. Not trying to hate on Jeff Gordon, but this car's not that detailed, so it's not really my favorite car. But anyway, this is the rainbow car that he drove. And that seat is rattling around in there. So that's going to drive me nuts this whole time I'm reviewing this car. The hood does open. That's the only thing that really about this car that's good. But still, it's got, not really a whole lot of engine detail. It's more of a toy that would go on your shelf than anything. But here's all the decals. I'm not going to really read everything here because I don't think you really need that, because I'm sure you can read everything here. But here you go. Definitely more of a kid toy than anything. Doesn't even have the roof flaps molded in, so yeah. Plastic window net. Here's the underside right here. Alright, so that's pretty much everything with this car. So that's out of the way. Next Jeff Gordon car up here is a pretty cool one. I like this car. It's the 24 Peanuts car. And if anybody knows, Rick is looking for the 24 Looney Tunes car. So yeah, hopefully he can find that. I'm pulling for him to find that car. Hopefully he does. So it's got the Peanut DuPont logo right here, and the Peanuts most famous character, Snoopy. So that's pretty cool. Joe Cool. And then you got all the logos right here. Pretty cool car. Suspension in the front actually works, which is pretty nice. There's the interior. Pretty nice car. If you can see that right there. I'm trying to focus. You can actually see through that window net pretty well. Hood actually opens on this car. Pretty easy to get open. Well, I thought it would be easy to get open. There we go. Just had to whack it a few times. There we go. There's the engine detail right there. Like I said, this hood doesn't always want to open, but the hinges on it are pretty tight. Pretty detailed motor. But there you go. I don't think it has the braided steel hoses on it. In fact, I don't really see any hoses there at all. Huh. Interesting. So, I guess the radiator doesn't have any hoses to it. How's it get cool? But there you go. And there's the back window right there with all the piping and everything. Basic gold DuPont, or basis gold. Huh. There's the trunk right there. All the wiring and detailing in the trunk. And here's the underside. Not super detailed. I wish everything was painted. But there you go. It's got the headers and everything. But Action's come such a long way from the days they made this stuff. I mean, they make such better die casts now. But here's the underside. Alright, so I'm done with this car. Pretty nice, pretty cool piece, peanuts. I really like that. And the next one up here is the Quality Care Dale. I have the box for it. Let me see who this one is. Dale Jarrett, and this is one of 2,508 made. But this car is cool. Gold color. Very bright and shiny under my camera. There's the front end. It says Taurus on there. I kind of wish the grille was painted, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that way on this edition or what, but I guess they didn't paint the grille in. Would have been nice to see that. Suspension in the front works. Pretty nice. There's all the sponsor decals. If you want to read those, you can. There's the 80. This is 88. Got all the decaling right there. This one actually came with a display case. I just unscrewed it. But there you go. There's the interior. All in all, pretty nice car. Quality Care. Trunk does open. I'll show the trunk in a minute. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Hood opens. And it reveals a pretty detailed engine bay. Well, this doesn't even have the distributor wiring on it, actually. Huh. Well, like I said, Action's come a long way in terms of detailing. Pretty decent. They don't even have the radiator hoses going to the radiator, though. But it's still a pretty cool piece. And the trunk opens. I'll show that real quick. It only opens a certain amount. I'm not going to force it. There's the inside, and it's got all the cabling and detailing. It's pretty decent. Not as detailed as some of the newer ones, but here's the interior. If the camera will focus. Focus. As much of it I can show. But it's pretty nice. It's decent. Not as nice as the newer Actions, but it's decent. Here's the underside. Headers are definitely a lot chunkier than on some of the newer Action cars. They're a little fatter. And the exhausts aren't exactly blacked out. But it's still pretty decent for the year it was made. And this one actually has the little logos on the tires like they used to put on there. I always thought that was kind of cool. But there you go. Alright, so there's that car reviewed. Alright, so the next one up here is the M&M's car. I don't know who this was driven by. I couldn't tell you because I think the box was a little different. But this one's pretty cool. Here's the front end. This is a Pontiac. Here's the hood pins right here. Hood pins aren't as detailed as some of the other ones. Their castings are a little chubbier. I know I'm kind of nitpicking this car, but I know it's older, so I'm kind of giving it a pass. Suspension in the front actually works. Rear suspension doesn't work, but the front suspension does. Here's all the logos and stuff. Geez, how many cars did Gatorade sponsor? They must have sponsored just about every NASCAR. M&M's again. The trunk on this one actually doesn't open. This one is a bank actually, where you can put money at. I don't know where you put the money though. I think it's trying to figure that out, where the money goes to, or where it goes at. Alright, and the hood actually opens on this one. There's no wiring on here. But here's the M&Ms underneath the hood. It's a pretty cool car. Interior is gonna be really hard to see because it's pretty much black. There we go. Other side, if you can make it out through that window, good luck. But there's the interior, and it says Action Racing Collectibles right there. Oh, I just found out where the coins go, right there in that slot. There's the coin slot for coins and such to store them. But there you go, here's the underside. And they don't black out the exhaust on any of these, which that bothers me, but I guess it's okay. Here's the key where you open the bank. I think it's a metal key. I don't know if it's plastic or metal. But like I said, the headers are a little bit chunkier than some of the Action castings now. Alright, so there we go. There's that car. Now, I said Action has come a long way. This car is probably my favorite out of all the cars that Rick bought during our thrift store and hunting adventures in Pennsylvania. This is the Errands 99 car. Now, I don't know who drove this. Have a hard time. Oh, this is Darrell Waltrip's car. Huh. I just found that out, too. So, yeah, this is the Errands 98 car, and this one's pretty cool casting. I really like the way this one's done. Now, unfortunately, the suspension doesn't work on any of it. The steering does, but suspension doesn't. Here's the front end. This is before Dodge dropped out of NASCAR racing, 99. And here's some of the logos right here. My camera focuses. Come on, focus. But here you go. It's a pretty sweet, nice casting. They did a good job with this one. I don't know if the roof flaps work on this one. They look like they do. There we go. Oh, the roof flaps do work. That one doesn't want to work, but the roof flaps actually do work on this. That's pretty nice. Hood opens. I gotta get it to open. There we go. I got it to work. Engine detailing, pretty good. Not as good as the Cars of Tomorrow that they did, but it's still pretty decent. And this is a plastic radiator hose. It's not the braided steel ones they started using in 2010. But it's still pretty darn detailed. More detailed than the other 3 cars I showed, or the other 4 cars I showed. So there you go. Doesn't say anything under the hood though. Most of them do. But there you go. Closes pretty nicely. Real fabric window net. Pretty nice. And I'm going to get to the interior right here. You can't really see anything through that window netting. But it's pretty nice inside. There you go. Oh. But there you are. Alright, so there is the back. Alright, so now the trunk. It's a lot more detailed than the other 4 I showed. Pretty nice. All the cabling and stuff. Alright, so now the last part of this review, the underside. Like I said, these headers are a lot better casting because they're actually look like they go into the collector as opposed to they almost look like sausage finger headers when they cast them back in the day. And this one doesn't actually have the tire logos on it, but it's pretty nice under here. Pretty well detailed. And the steering rods are a lot thinner, which is nice. And the steering's pretty solid on this car. And then you can see the suspension all up inside of that. That cavity right there, or the hump in the back. So it's all pretty nicely detailed under here. And one thing I want to mention, the hood pins are a lot cleaner cast and look a lot better on here. Alright, so that is my full review of these die-cast NASCARs. Now my thoughts, the Jeff Gordon car, I probably like it the least. I'd say I probably maybe, it's a kid's toy, so I give it maybe about a 3 out of 10. The Peanuts car, I'll just go in order here. The Peanuts car, I definitely say I give this a 7 out of 10. Just because I think the Peanuts is kind of neat, and it's pretty decent casting on details. It's alright. It's not the most detailed car, but it's still pretty cool. I give it a break in a lot of areas because it's a little older, so it is kind of cool. But I still think it's neat casting. So I definitely give this one a 7.5 out of 10. The errands car on details, I would definitely give this a 9 out of 10. The only thing that holds it back is it still has the dog leg hinges and it doesn't have the hinge pins in there. But I still think it's pretty decent casting. So still I give this a 7 out of 10. Or actually a 9 out of 10, sorry. But it's pretty cool. The M&M's car here, these are pretty much going to be neck and neck for me. The only thing is this is a bank. I'd say I give this one an 6.5 out of 10. This one's a okay casting. The only thing is I like the suspension works and everything on it, but it's still an okay casting. I mean, it's older, but so there's going to be some things that hold it back because it's an older action, but it's an okay piece. So I guess I give this a 6.5 out of 10. So a little bit better than the Jeff Gordon car. Maybe a 7.5. Quality Care Dale Jarrett car, I'm, like I said, going to say maybe 7.5 out of 10. Same as the M&M's car. It's a pretty neat casting. Like I said, it's older, so I guess I kind of got to give some things on it a little bit of a break, but it's alright. So anyway, that is my full review on 5 NASCAR cars. Eventually, I'm going to try and review the 2 newer NASCARs Rick bought, the new 2016 Jimmy Johnson winter car and the Batman vs. Superman Dale Jr. car. If he gives me the go-ahead to review them, I will review them. Anyway, guys, I'm Jared White, the J-Man 63. Make sure you like, you comment down below, and subscribe. Happy collecting, guys. I'm going to keep cranking out the reviews, and have a good one. Bye.